Hello, my name is Hakon and welcome back to my channel where today I will show you another little trick on the Empress Effects Zoia. The Zoia, of course, is the modular patchable digital synthesizer in a little box with a unique grid interface and where the only limitation is your imagination and the CPU, of course. Now, this is a blank patch today, but there is, of course, a clue in the video name that you may already have seen before you clicked on this. And also in the patch title here, it says, or the patch name, I should say, it says concert pitch. So today I will tell you a little bit about concert pitch and how to change it on the Zoia. Concert pitch, for those who don't know yet what that is a common pitch reference in order for that an orchestra or a band will be able to play together with all the instruments in tune with each other. And it's also extremely important to establish a pitch reference if you are making certain instruments, and particularly woodwinds, because if you have a different pitch reference, it needs to be a different size. So, and concert pitch traditionally is referred to as the frequency, the hertz, the number of waves per second of the A above middle C, that is an A4, and in modern times that has usually been 440 hertz since somebody decided, I believe it was in the 40s, that everyone should use the same reference to make life a lot easier, especially I believe for woodwind makers, but also for orchestras as well. Historically, of course, it hasn't always been 440 hertz. It has been 392, 415, 467 are three historical pitches that people still play music in, actually, when they're trying to be historically accurate. There are people who create instruments made specifically to play Baroque music, for instance, or Renaissance music, and they are often pitched to different pitch references in order to be more authentic. And then, of course, there is the modern, I call it neo-New Age or post-New Age phenomenon of a pitch reference of 432 hertz, which historically actually was something that was suggested in the back in the 18th century, I believe. Somebody thought that it would look nice if all the C's had very beautiful numbers as their frequencies. So if you have a pitch reference of 432, you get C's that are square numbers of 2. So it's like the binary system, really. So the C's would be 8, 16, 32 hertz, 64 hertz, 128, 256, 512, etc. And that's one of the reasons that idea came about. But then somebody realized that the resonance frequency of the Earth was an average of 7.8 hertz, and somebody thought, let's round that off to 8 and use that as a basis for our concert pitch. And so the idea of 432 got reawakened by those who thought that that would be a frequency that would be more in harmony with nature. Arbitrary, spurious, and pseudoscientific though that is, I think that actually it is also in a way a good thing to the extent that it has made more people aware of the curative properties of music. That is to say, I don't think that music in itself is healing, but I do believe that listening to music is something that helps you heal yourself to the extent that it makes you relax, it makes you de-stress, it makes your heart rate slow down, or well, go faster if you are listening to dance music. That's a different story. It makes you then have less cortisol, adrenaline. It makes you less anxious, etc. So if you are somebody who actively listens to music for the sake of feeling better, I do believe that the 432 hertz has actually made more people aware of that being a possibility. So I'm not going to knock 432 in this video. I'm just going to say that it is an option, and people make, of course, instruments now in 432 hertz, and especially things like Native American flutes, very popular to make those to that concert pitch. Now, that's a lot of talking about concert pitch, but how do you change it on the Zoia? Let's start with an oscillator first of all. So let's make an audio module, an oscillator, and yeah, just like that. So when you make an oscillator, when you have an oscillator on the Zoia, you can click the encoder to get the note values. So if I move this up to A4, which is our, there we are, our concert pitch reference, that is, well, it should really be 440, but it is 439.98, and that is close enough. I am not 100% sure, I don't have perfect pitch, and I haven't checked this, whether this is the actual frequency of sound that comes out of the Zoia, or whether the sound that comes out is 440, but the number here is, because of the way the Zoia deals with numbers, a little bit off. I'm not sure. But also that tells me that we don't have to be super precise about this in order to get a good concert pitch change. Just for reference, because when you multiply things up, a change or an error will also multiply up. I'm going to add another oscillator here and set it to a higher frequency, so like an A8 maybe. There we are, an A8. So that is, now it says 7039.4, and really it should be 7040. Again, the difference is negligible. In most cases, I must add. Sometimes it is quite crucial that something is exactly spot on. So how do we change these to something else? Well, you would think clearly and correctly that you want to create an offset. Now, normally when you have an oscillator, you send something else into it that determines the pitch. And the oscillator itself is just an offset of that pitch, which is means that you could technically set the offset now in the oscillator module itself. Which is perfectly fine. I'm just going to show you how the principle of this now, so that you can set it yourself to whatever frequency concert pitch that you may need for your music. And in order to show this, I'll just go via a value module. So I'm going to put in a value module here. Let's see, value. And because I want the pitch to go down, I'm going to, and you see, of course, you can't put a negative offset on the oscillator. So if you want a negative, if you want to lower concert pitch than 440, you will need a value module patched into it. So I'm going to make it the -1 to 1 on the output range, like so. So now we have a value module. It says -1 there, which is where it starts. And so now we got 440 here. So let's say we want to do 392 is a no, let's do 432, because it's really in of the moment, I guess. But the principle is going to be exactly the same. So first of all, let's patch up the value module with the oscillator. And of course now you see it's gone down to 0.43 hertz because it is at -1. And let's move this up now to, oh, I see, I need to put a little bit more of the contact spray on my encoder. I made another video about that, because if you can't scroll really fast through the values, or if it sometimes jumps back a little bit, it means the encoder is due for a little bit of contact spray. And I made another video about that. I'll just put the link to that up here. And also it is faster to do like this and look at the note values, because it gives the encoder fewer values to scroll through. So let's go back here so we can look at the value, because we want to go back to 0 first, just so we can use that as a starting point. I use Shift now to get a fine tune of the value. Okay, so now we look here and it says 440.03. So actually this is actually adding a little bit of value now. If I do one click down, it says 439. So actually it's not very precise now, as you can see. It actually is maybe a little bit too imprecise for us to get a good value here. And let's just try 432 just to see how close we can get now. So if we, oh, that's already too much, 432.6. So I'm going to go down there. Let's do a one click down. 432.4, 432.23, 431.87. Oops, that's the wrong place there. Let's make sure I didn't offset the oscillator by mistake there. And now it is at, okay, 431.87. So I want to go up one click, and 432.05. And that is probably close enough. Let's also patch it into the other one there. And now we got 6912.5. Let's just find my calculator so I can see how far off that is. So the 432 times 2 equals, no, that doesn't work on this one. 432 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. 6912. So we're sort of 0.5 hertz off. That is not too bad. And that is actually probably good enough. Now, there is, of course, a way to make this more precise on the Zoia. And the way we do this is to adjust connection strength. So if I move this down, all the way down, actually, to the lowest value, so that is -1, and then instead of patching, of course, now we're at 0.43, but now instead of adjusting the value, I adjust the connection strength. So I'm going to do the connection strength first, really. And I'm going to go down, 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 down quite far. Let's see, 8.9%. Let's see what that looks like. That looks like 237.21, which is still a lot lower than we ever needed to go. I mean, the lowest pitch reference I would use would be 392. So let's try again and move down to something like 4.3. Okay. Still actually a bit on the high side. 358. Okay. Let's move down to about 2%. Let's do 2% exactly, maybe. Well, the Zoia won't allow us to do that, but now it's 383, so that is pretty close. And now we should be able to get very precise values. So if I move this a little bit now, just, let's move it up to 432. And now the resolution is so much better. Okay, that is really close, you can see. So now I'm going to use the shift and move into value mode there. 431.91, 431.93, 431.97. Oops, I'm not trying to move anything. 431.99. Now remember that the A was actually 439.98. So actually it was a little bit low, the original concert pitch. So this is probably quite good. Let's see what it looks like on the other one there. And let's double check now what the number was I wanted. 432 times 2 times 2 times 2. Hang on, how did that happen? Ah, yes, that happened because I haven't adjusted the connection strength to the other module, have I? I need to, of course, adjust both. Right, so I need to, so this is now 1.999. Okay, so I'm going to adjust the connection strength of my other module there as well to 1.999, like so, and then we get 6911. Okay, so that is, it should be 6912. So still a little bit off. Let's increase it a little bit. Still 43199, but now it is a little bit higher there. Let's just, so now we got 432 exactly on the A4, but we have a little bit low on the A8. So let's move up a little bit still. Still 432, yeah. Let's go and look at the higher one now, 691187. And now you see it's actually gone above 432. So now this one, the high one is a little bit below, the low one is a little bit above, and that probably will average out perfectly. It is close enough for most people's ears. I would imagine you'd be a super listener of some sort with a super perfect pitch to be able to actually detect any difference. And again, also, I don't actually know whether it's the value here is precise or whether it's some kind of rounding off in the system that creates this slight disparity between these frequency values. So what this tells us now is that in order for us to create a 432 concert pitch on the Zoia, we need, of course, it could be different combinations now, but we have picked a connection strength of 1.999% and a value of minus 0.1319 on a bipolar value module. And that will, as an offset, sent to a oscillator, create a 432 concert pitch. Now, of course, if you are sending this to several places, then you will have to patch up quite a bit with the 1.999% connection strength. Let's try with a value module, like so. So if you patch this now to a value module with 1.999%, like so, 1.999. Okay, and then we remove the connections directly from the first value module, and we just patch up the second value module now. Let's see what happens. Okay, still the same values, but now the connection strength from the second module is 100%. So this is very easy to patch up to anything. You don't have to adjust connection strength for everything. So if you want to connect your concert pitch to more than one thing, the easiest way to do it is to create two value modules. So you have one for the actual offset, and then and the connection strength between that and the second value module is your sort of standard as well. And then that value module connects with 100% connection strength to wherever else you need that pitch change. Because even though it says minus 0.0026, the actual precision of these numbers inside the Zoia is a lot higher. This is a rounded off number. So I wouldn't know the exact value now, but you can't do this with one value module, but you can do it with two. So this one connected with 100% connection strength gives you the correct pitch value. So that is how you change concert pitch. And if you want to do 415 or 392, the process is exactly the same. Let's do 392, for instance. So we just move our connection strength down, 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 until we get almost to 392 there, 391.53. Okay, when it's at below, I can actually start moving it up more gradually. 391.86, 392.26, 392.06, 391.99, and our buddy over here, let's just check now. I think it should be 6272. So if I increase this a little bit now, as long as it goes 392.01, and now this is at 6271.83, which is a little bit below the actual number it should be, which is 6272, I presume. So that is close enough as well. So that is the process. You adjust connection strength and then you adjust values. And if you have a bipolar module here with 2% connection strength, that seems to be enough to cover quite a wide range of values. Let's see if I can get 467 here too, since that is a historical pitch. So let's move up now, and I'll be adding value to this module. Let's see, okay. 464, 466, 467. Let's move down a little bit. So now we are moving here. 467.2, 467.16, 467.11, 05, 02, 0. There we are. 467 reference pitch as well. So it's an easy method, works for any concert pitch change you may want to do. Because of the way Zoia deals with frequencies and pitches, and the offset will always work. So that is it actually. I made this a little bit longer than it needed to be, I think, but I do apologize for that. But I just wanted to show you properly how to do this, and also talk a little bit about concert pitch. So very easy, value module, low connection strength to a new value module, and that can patch into wherever you need a pitch offset to create a new concert pitch. So thanks for watching. If you found this useful, inspirational, etc., please like, share, comment, subscribe, join me on Patreon, buy me a coffee on buymeacoffee.com, click on adverts, join YouTube Premium and watch my videos, or just watch my videos, because even if you don't do any of those other things, I look at the numbers of views and I think, yeah, that's nice. People like watching my videos. And that too inspires me to make more. There you go. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video, which will be about the Zoia or something else. Goodbye for now. Bye-bye.